Welcome along to the At The Races web preview of the Ladbrokes World Hurdle, the feature race on day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival. Mick Fitzgerald is here to talk through some of the leading contenders, and we're without Mick, though, the first home from last year, with more of that being ruled out by John O'Neill. Yeah,
that's sad, really, that he hasn't had a chance to defend his crown, because he looks so good. He looked like a horse with a very bright future when winning last season, and it is a shame we won't see him. Annie Power, we can see in this picture here, she looks like she's going to take up her engagement in the Mayor's Hurdle as well. So,
and the third home at Fisher's Cross, the wheels have just fallen off him completely, haven't they? They've fallen off and rolled down the hill.
Yeah, he's a force of old.
Well, let's have a look at the prices then, without more of that in the race. Zarkandar and Safir at 5 to 1, Rock on Ruby at 8, Annie Power likely to go elsewhere, also at 8 to 1, and 12 to 1 bar those. And it's Paul Nicholls who's duo spearheading the betting, and Safir, well, he's got the big bucks profile, Mick, an aborted chasing career, back over hurdles, and he won the Cleve last time up.
Yeah, he did. Hard-fought victory, beating Rev de Savola, but Rev de Savola actually ties in quite well with another one of Paul Nicholls', Zarkandar. So he's a good yardstick. He's already won a decent prize in Ireland at the Punchestown Festival, Rev de Savola, so he sets a good standard. You know, this is Safir de Reux and Whisper. This was at Fos Las in the Welsh Champion Hurdle. And this was a good, solid run from this horse. And this is the sort of form he's capable of. And let's not forget, Whisper has won at the Cheltenham Festival. So, you know, he's a good yardstick. And this horse is more than capable. Are we getting too carried away by the big bucks thing with Safir de Reux? Is that why the similarities are being drawn? Because he's had an aborted chasing career, he's owned by Andy Stewart, he's a young horse, and they've said, right, come on, let's get him back on track and run him in the World Hurdle.
I wonder to what extent as well a horse who can excel in the mud at Fos Las like that has got to be as effective if the ground does come up quickish by the end of the week.
Yeah, that would be a concern, I think. And Paul Nicholls has been honest and open about this. He says, look, other people are drawing the similarities between big bucks and him. This horse is a very different character to big bucks. You know, he hasn't got the ability that big bucks had for a start. And I think that was very honest of Paul to say that, you know, because you're not then saying, right, OK, well, they are very similar. But I do think in an open year, he probably deserves to be joint favourite.
And the horse he is joint favourite with is Zarkandar, also trained by Paul Nicholls. A horse who Paul in his early days nicknamed our own little Hurricane Fly. He's got plenty of festival form. He's been to the festival with a triumph. He's been ran twice in a champion hurdle and was 4th in last year's race when it just didn't seem to have things go his way, did he?
No, he didn't. And he wasn't in the same form as he's in this year, too. And this is him giving a real specialist at Auteuil, Jemmix, a hiding. And it takes some doing to go over to their own backyard and win races at Auteuil. But this horse, that shows you how much better he is this season than last. He's a Triumph Hurdle winner, so he's already got previous at the festival. And I think he's very interesting. And Sam Twiston-Davies had the choice between Zarkandar and Safir de Reux. He's had to pin his colours to Safir de Reux early. That, I think, opens the door then for somebody else to get a very good ride on Zarkandar. I think he's a good ride.
I was hearing Noel Feely's name attached to Zarkandar as well this week.
Yeah, there's been plenty of people have said that, because he's got an arrangement to ride for Pretentious and Chris Giles. Of course, Silvagnaco Conti colours as well. And I think he's had 5 rides for them this season. He's won on 4 of them. So they've got a pretty good record, and they'll be keen to try and maintain that. But Noel has won a champion hurdle on Rock on Ruby, and he's another contender for this race. So, you know, Sam Twiston-Davies had a tough choice to make. Noel Feely, is he going to have a choice to make? Is he going to ride Rock on Ruby or Zarkandar? Is he going to be offered the ride on Zarkandar? Who knows? That
does leave things very much open. But Rock on Ruby, he's a horse who has kept his enthusiasm and his ability all the way through his career. 2012 was his champion hurdle success, but he's won the 2 races on his last 2 starts that last year's 1st and 2nd in the Ladbrokes World Hurdle had won en route to the festival.
Yeah, and the question on everybody's lips is, will he stay? And when you ask Noel Feely, will Rock on Ruby stay, he doesn't even blink when he says yes. So if that's the case, he's got the class. He was beaten in a Neptune by First Lieutenant the Short Head when he just faded close home. He's a much stronger and better horse this year. So he's an interesting contender. Solwit did it, you know, a horse who had good form at Aintree. This horse was very narrowly beaten by the new one in the Martel Hurdle, or the, you know, that feature event up there at Aintree. And this horse, you know, he's very similar to Solwit.
He's a classy performer, all right, so he's around the 7 or 8 to 1 mark. Irish runners as well, there's quite a few of these, again, with closely matched form. We could have a look at Lieutenant Colonel, also Jetson and Monksland, all in action. And Lieutenant Colonel coming out on top, narrowly from Jetson in a driving finish.
Yeah, this, you know, Jetson is a horse who, you know, has run well in handicaps at big festivals. So, you know, he's a horse who, you know, he sets a reasonable standard, but this is a young horse who tried chasing earlier on in the season and just got lost a little bit. He got beaten by Sizing Granite at Naas early on this season. He's then come out and beat Jetson 4 lengths first time, and then only was a length in front of him last time. He's a horse that many people think could be very interesting at a decent price. You know, Sandra Hughes, it would be a fairy tale for her if she was to have a winner. You know, because her late father, Desi Hughes, who trained an awful lot of winners at the Cheltenham Festival, he said to her before he died, you know, let's put this horse back over hurdles because I think he could go to the top. It'd be a great day for her if he were to win.
Yeah, Jetson there in second. He could be a player as well, for a plate at least, given his run so well in the Potemps a couple of times round. One more race to look at, and this is to dig out winning in the fog, seeing off Monksland and also Zaidpour. And he's come out and franked the form since to dig out.
Yeah, he has. And, you know, you just get the impression that this horse is a late developer. Brian Cooper really likes him. And Tony Martin, you know, no stranger to the winners' enclosure at the Cheltenham Festival. He's got an awful lot of time for this horse. And, you know, he battled back here and mugged Monksland close home. But he stays, and he stays really well. The worry is the ground is a concern for the dig-out. He has to have it soft, and that's the worry. Is it going to be soft enough for him?
Well, let's have a look back at the prices and give you the winner, hopefully, of the Ladbrokes World Hurdle. Zarkandar and Safir are both at 5 to 1. Rock on Ruby at 8. Any Power likely to go elsewhere, 8 to 1 also. Lieutenant Colonel, 12 to 1. And Temper 2, who was beaten behind a few of these last time up at the Festa, at the last meeting, the Trials Day, 12 to 1. Whisper, Blue Fashion, Monksland all at 16. It's 20 Mick, bar those. Good each way betting race, this.
Oh, fantastic if you fancy the likes of Briar Hill or like you do with Jetson. I just think that... I think this is a tough one to call. I really do. And I think if I absolutely had to pick one, I'd struggle to get away from Zarkandar.